Thank you. Thank you. So with that said, we'll move forward with the program, right? Let's get it going. Let's get some energy. I'd like to introduce Ms. Beverly Taylor. She is our moderator for today. I don't know, I think Cody's creating the agreement. I asked her if she would sign a 20-year deal to do this for the next 20 years. She's amazing. I also want to introduce Shauna Nichols. She is the face and sound DJ for the Milwaukee Bucks. She's here today. Dear friend from Chicago. That's too bad, that part, you know. They're better, but they're still not, you know, Bears, I don't know. But Raul Raimundo, he's the CEO and co-founder of the Resurrection Project. Thank you, Raul. And then, dear friend, we're working on partnering with them to be one of the first, create an SEL National Performing Arts Curriculum with him and his team. He's the director of the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra, Carter Simmons. Carter. Thanks. And last but not least, dear friend, he's also does some stuff with us. We partner with him. He's amazing in the community, but also an extremely talented athlete. He was the first individual to be drafted into the NBA from the NBA G League, Mike Taylor. All right. Thank you all.
It's good to see all of you. We have a great panel here today. A lot of great things to talk about, but a short time to do it. So I'm going to jump right in there. You know, trauma has many faces, and in coping with it, there are many different ways of doing that. You can utilize music. You can utilize art. Having that strong support system is also important. So we're going to be discussing all of those things here today. We have, again, a great panel. So what I am going to do is just pass the mic down, and they will introduce themselves.
Thank you. Good morning, y'all. How you doing? Good. It's good to see you. Thanks for having me here today. I appreciate you, Dr. and Cody. Appreciate y'all, STRYV365. My name is Shauna Nichols. I no longer have a last name. It's now just DJ Shauna. So I'm a Milwaukee kid. I'm honored to be here today, and I've been a part of Cody's world for long before STRYV, and I'm grateful to be here with you today. I can't reiterate that enough, but I'm excited to hear what we have going on. What else do you want me? Is that good? That's good. Pass it on? Yeah, here you go.
Buenos días a todos. Good morning, everyone. Raul Raimundo. I'm an immigrant from Mexico, came to this country in 1972 when I was 7 years old. And as our moderator said, trauma has different faces and levels, and immigrant experience is one of them as well. I co-founded the Resurrection Project in 1990, have been doing this work ever since, a social impact organization trying to build healthy community and healthy relationships.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Carter Simmons. I'd like to welcome you to my classroom. So I'm the music director and artistic director here at the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra, and we're the largest of its kind in the United States, and that's sort of a surprising thing. But Milwaukee loves its young people. And so the work that the team at STRYV do and we do and our partners here in this facility, the Youth Arts Center, we dedicate ourselves every single day to youth development and to helping kids. So thank you for being here.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing this morning? First off, I would like to give honor to the universal source, who's ahead of everything that I do. Give a huge honor to the elderly that's in this space. Giving honor to my ancestors who've came to this country willingly and unwillingly. My name is Mike Taylor. I am a native of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I hold that near and dear to my heart. I was once one of these youth that was here suffering and struggling on the way to find out, but I've been able to come back. I'm here today to just be a voice for the voiceless, talk about the trauma that we experience here in Milwaukee and how it affects us on a day-to-day basis. Some of the systems that are in place are not inclusive to some of the things and the environment that we grow up in. So I'm here today to shed light, speak about my trauma, and just be transparent in where I'm at. I'm the founder of Tailor Made Foundation that was founded in 2010. I've also created a unique program that talks about trauma. I've created a coloring book, a comic book, a literature series, to say the least. And that is
Thank you. Mike and I are not related, but I'll claim him. So I am going to start with you, Carter, since we are in your space. Nice facility here. The Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra, largest after-school orchestra, I think, in the nation. You cater, I use that word, to what, nearly 1,000 students from 14 counties, including northern Illinois. Some people think of the orchestra as a place where kids of affluence would come to, and they think of possibly white kids. That's kind of a myth with you guys. Diversity is almost your motto. So help us to know a little bit about that and tell us about it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. So when I started work here in 1992, I'm starting my 32nd year, that was pretty much a little bit of the picture. The heart was always to try and engage the community in a really sincere way. But it was really our move into the Milwaukee Youth Arts Center that gave us legs into being able to have the space to do the work that we want. And I'm very happy to say that we have engaged the community in a very sincere way, an intentional way, where we've changed the face of what we do here. And we've learned an awful lot during that process. We used to have about what you'd say is about 3% diversity in a city that is very diverse. And now I'm very proud to say that we're over 50% diverse. And we are really the only youth orchestra in the country that sends out over $500,000 every year back out into the community on an individual basis to support students. We support them with instruments, with lessons, with rides here and back, and give them an opportunity to get to know other people and to have and to find a little different vision for their life. So we are all about youth development and building community in a sincere, correct, good, solid way through a set of skills that the students learn anywhere from third graders all the way through the end of high school and then beyond. And we do that through partnerships with the schools, with all kinds of schools, educators that come from all over the area, and great art institutions. And so it's youth development, but using music as a vehicle for that.
Thank you. So now I feel like Oprah, just kind of stand up and just kind of, Raul. The Resurrection Project, it's all about creating systems of growth and support for families. And I was reading some of the things that you do. And this is just a few. Home ownership program, offering financial literacy workshops, various supports for youth. Tell me about the inception of all of this. What motivated you to create this organization and how it's impacting the community?
Thank you. So our organization began basically with a simple premise vision. How do you put your faith and values to build a healthier community? And the challenge for us has always been, how do you build a healthy community, not move to one? And the reason that I say that because for me, I grew up in that community. That community in the 70s and 80s and 90s was going to too much trauma, too much violence, too many gangs, too many activities. And my story is basically, as I went to the parish that welcomed us as immigrants, the pastor was preaching from the pulpit about a young man who had been shot across the street from the church and was asking, what are we going to do about it? We're just going to pray and pray that the problem goes away, or we're going to do something about it. Like, whoa. Having been in the neighborhood and seen my colleagues not make to their 18th birthday, I said, yeah, he's right. And that was sort of the impetus for me and many other people that care about making a difference in the community. And the key here is what STRYV is doing as well. What do you do differently to make things better? Everybody knows Brandon's story. He came back to the neighborhood. He grew up in a neighborhood. He's putting his own self-interest in place. That's what I was doing when I started organizing the institutions that led to the creation of this, and identified key things across this country. We talk about building wealth. Our strategy is the first thing you got to do is prevent wealth from being sucked away from neighborhoods. And we were recognizing that many families were getting preyed on, predatory lending, a lot of this stuff. So we initiated programs to make sure that families knew what they were getting into and prevent wealth from being sucked away. Shortly afterwards, we began to develop strategies to build wealth and create homeownership opportunities for people who wanted to stay in the neighborhood, and create what we're saying is balanced development. How do you make sure that families who have been there in the neighborhood for many years benefit from the prosperity that's going on as you welcome newcomers? Because communities are always changing and evolving.
Wonderful. Creating generational wealth is so important. Mike, now, you've been in professional basketball. You're a Milwaukee native? Okay. And you are a captain right now of a team in the Big Three. Okay, I'll get it right. All right. So now, and you mentioned the comic book. So there are a lot of things going on. You have with your foundation, the youth basketball program that goes on, the kids love. How do you see the relationship pulling together, kind of arts, athletics, and dealing with, the trauma? And we talked earlier, you have lived what a lot of our kids are going through. So when they talk to you, they talk to somebody who has been there, who understands them.
I appreciate you for that. I believe that Milwaukee is a unique space, a unique place. I was overseas for about 15 years, so I've been able to see a world view. So I have an introspective from a different space. Being someone that has grew up in this area, what's going on with the NPS referendum? It's been a miseducation on our youth here for a very, very long time. I'm an alumni of NPS, so I understand that. But when I was in school, we had driver's education, we had home economics, we had skilled trades that we could learn that would make us successful citizens like today, right? And I feel like that is what's missing. But this unique thing, when we're talking about the mix of art, sports, is something that was the only way that I could express myself. I believe that the definition of art is the way that you express yourself. So from the way that we dress, the way that we carry ourselves, I believe that's a form of an expression. And I feel like we don't have a lot of avenues for our youth, safe avenues, healthy avenues for our youth to express themselves. So what are they led to? They led to what I like to call a dead end, right? Basketball, for me, I was able to get a scholarship to go play in college. I was able to get a Division I scholarship to go play at a university, receive my associate's degree. But for those who don't have a talent and can't get out of this neighborhood, they're left on a dead end. They're left with the streets, and they left with wreaking havoc and trying to find a platform to express themselves. That's why I love what STRYV is doing. Not only are they bringing the conversation, they're actually bringing programming into the schools. The staff that they have, I've been a part of the staff. You know, I've been into these schools. I've seen the work that they've done. It is an impact. These kids, when they come into these schools and they see these staff members, like, they see support. They see someone that represents them. They're able to go and get one-on-one mentoring sessions and get to break down some of the things that maybe their parents don't have time at home to do, right? And that's where I've been able to, you know, use my platform. Everybody that I know in my community all wanted to play in the NBA. Boy, girl, whatever. If you was black and you was in this community, you wanted to make it to the NBA, right? But I'm here to say, hey, it's an illusion, right? It's part of an illusion. I'm not gonna stop you from pursuing your dream. If that's your dream, it's gonna take some work. It's gonna take some hard work. It's gonna take a vision, right? But now I'm here to say, hey, let's be more intentional. My dream was to make it to the NBA, and I made it. But I want these kids to have a vivid vision of their dreams, right? To say, hey, not only do I want to make the NBA, I want to be in the NBA for 10 years. So I couldn't be mad when my career ended so short because my dream came true, but I didn't go along with that dream. So now I'm coming back to pour into the youth about personal development, about self-development, right? Once you know oneself, you'll be able to learn anything out here in this world. And I think the empowerment of self is something that's really needed in this community.
So I know we have a lot of young folks up there. Dream big, dream big. DJ Shauna, okay. So you played with Division I basketball. You are the DJ for the Milwaukee Bucks. We all know you. We all hear you. So with that, sports, art, because you've written a children's book, right? And how does that all come together to you? And I know I'm speaking to somebody who practices gratitude. You are all about positivity. So kind of give me an idea.
Thank you, Mike. Man, you're speaking to my soul, my guy. Seriously, it's the epitome of like, and I apologize for those of you that don't know me. I think they put me on the panel because I'll cry at any given point in time. So here, yeah, sorry. So I'm a Milwaukee kid too, and I have 414 tattooed on me. I have some family members in the audience, and and so it's crazy to like listen. I'm the first in my family to go to college, first in my family to get a Division I Big Ten scholarship. I had dreams I made it as a pro, but that's where it stopped too, because I didn't know any better. I didn't have people that didn't know, right? And it's no disrespect to my family or where I came from, but it's crazy. So what's nuts is I've had 2 non-normative jobs. That's all. I've been a professional basketball player and a professional DJ. And that is unbelievable to say. Like, it literally makes me cry because I'm probably, other than Shaq, maybe like the highest educated DJ because I think he has his doctorate, but I have a master's degree because I wanted to keep playing basketball, honestly. And so, but I just knew I never fit into like what I call the real world. And Mark, you can like probably speak on that. Like, I just never fit. And so music and sports to me always went hand in hand. I'm going to date myself, y'all. Did you know what CDs are? Yeah. Thank you for those of you down here. But yeah, we used to make like our mixtapes, mix CDs for basketball warm-ups, right? That was it, right? And if you're an athlete, like what you warm up to, right? You said VHS? Oh my goodness. All right. Whatever it is. Yeah. But like it goes hand in hand. And I never knew that this would be a career that it makes me cry to think that like there's one of me I'm the Milwaukee Bucks official DJ, and like I just feel like I showed up. I kept doing the work. You talk about dreaming big. I didn't know what any of that meant. And similar to Cody and Dr. Curry for having me here to see something in you. And that's what I think makes this space so special and STRYV special, is because I'm still like this little kid, like that clearly has a lot of feels. And when somebody sees you and gives you that opportunity and lifts you up and raises you up, and that's the city, like being up here with you all is just like so humbling. Like seriously, like I feel like I just push buttons and make so much noise, but it's crazy what sports and music has done and how it's facilitated so much for me. And I joke that like every event that I do is everybody's big event, right? Like I DJ for Giannis's workday every day. I DJ for this event, right? This is their big event. So dealing with things that, as an athlete, that I've been taught that like kind of when you cross those lines onto the court, you got to figure out how to let it go, right? So sports taught me that. So to come into every single day as a DJ, and I joke, I can't play Drake's sad songs, like if I'm having a bad day, even though I really would love to, but it's like every event I have to show up and I have to be 100%. And honestly, music, sports, still working out has all helped facilitate that. And it's given me a platform like you talked about. We're taught as athletes, like that name on the front of your jersey is so much bigger than the name on your back. And I live for that. And like the names on the, again, this makes me cry, but the names on the front of my jersey are just like endless, and it's such a gift to be able to do that. So thanks. Yeah.
I'm not sure who's my timekeeper, but am I good? Should I keep it going? They kind of give me questions, but then when I get here, they just kind of go to the wayside, kind of, because I talk to you guys. And I was talking to you, Carter, and you were telling me that all of the conductors took a training under STRYV. Can you tell me what the impact was on that?
Sure. I'd be delighted to. So again, we're all about trying to connect with kids and to help our young people. And that means you need to get to know their individual stories best you possibly can. And with an orchestra of 100, that's sometimes challenging to do. And so STRYV and the team, Paula, Tim, Coach Kawan, Jordan, James, Eli, they all came over and they helped us out. And they helped us lean into this and to give us some tools to try to help our students get to know themselves, get to know each other, and for us to help them do that, to create community. And I was so excited when I got to go through that. I got so excited that I forgot what I was doing, and I was so late to a bunch of meetings that I had, and a staff member had to come and grab me and say, hey, you focus. So, but music is such a beautiful tool to make connections. Everybody uses music, either passively or intentionally. And I'm really glad that you're part of this panel, DJ, because I was thinking I wondered if you would be, because we use music, all of us use music, but then it's a different thing if you create the music, if you create the art, if you learn the instrument, and you learn the skill sets of dribbling, of shooting, which I never could do, my brothers could, and I was bad. But you learn all those types of things that you have for your skill set, and then you apply them. And when you apply them and you focus your mind, it's so healthy for you. It's healthy for your spirit, it's healthy for your mind, and when you have a community, it's healthy for your community too. And so here in the Youth Arts Center, you have a bunch of kids who are probably not going to end up being artists, some do, but they go off to other things. But you have a bunch of kids that learn how to be healthy, to have emotional health, and to create connection with each other in a very unique and beautiful way. I could go on, but thank you to STRYV and to the team.
Thank you. DJ Shauna is a composer. You know, you can look up some of her tunes. Yeah, absolutely. Raul, tell me what key components must exist in a healthy community ecosystem to ensure that our families are resilient, healthy, and thriving.
Well, first of all, you know, as I listen and excited to be here on this symposium and this talking about this issue, you know, trauma has no boundaries and it's no color. Unfortunately, it is the kind of environment that people come from that generates this kind of trauma. And the way we approach our work in terms of healthy community, what's involved is that you have to be realistic about what you can do, and that's what STRYV is doing. Trauma is a problem. Let's be realistic, and this is how I approach this work. Just like housing, it's a problem. We're not going to fix the problem. We're not going to fix the trauma issue. What we can do is convert that problem into an issue, which is what STRYV has done, right? And address it, that's something you could do right here based on what you're trying to address, and meet as many young people as possible to deal with the trauma issue. In order to deal with the problem, we need much more involvement from everyone, the private sector, the public sector, the philanthropic sector, and the community sector, all working together towards trying to solve this major problem that we have. And so what's important in building healthy communities is having healthy relationships. How do you model that across the board? How do you go beyond the boundaries? Because as I said, there's no boundaries about trauma. Everybody experiences it differently. And that's what STRYV is trying to do. We're partnering with them on making sure that what the model they've developed is utilized across the board, across boundaries, Chicago, Milwaukee, Indiana, other places. And as I learned more about what they're doing, and by the way, I neglected to say earlier, although I'm a Chicagoan, Milwaukee is my second home. Two of my kids are studying here. One is at Myatt, the other one's at the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. So I've been coming often here. And the other thing that involved and looking forward to is we also are part of a national credit union called Self-Help Federal Credit Union that we opened up a couple of locations here in Milwaukee, one in the Black community, one in the Latino community, again, for financial literacy. But I think that at the end of the day, it's about modeling healthy relationships. Young people today are under tremendous pressure, not just in the physical environment that they're dealing with or growing up with, but now we have a new challenge, a virtual environment that is causing even more challenges. And so we have to figure out how to come together, make sure that the public policy holders, if you will, are held accountable, that the support from community organizations, philanthropy come together. By the way, another STRYV in the Resurrection Project, we've been blessed to have a benefactor, the Hervis Family Foundation, to really invest in innovation and allowing us to do the kind of things that we're doing. Otherwise, we're sort of limited to what we can do without the kind of investments that need to create innovation. And that's what STRYV is, an innovative program. And that's how we approach our work as well.
Mike, I'm going to ask you one. Tell me the importance of connection with youth and ways to build those relationships.
I think the importance with connecting with youth is it's essential. I mean, I grew up and it was this saying that was always saying, like, the youth is their future. Coming from a background, not only am I coming from the sports background, but as I dealt with trauma in my early childhood, basketball was like a space of refuge for me. It was a place where I can escape, not worrying about my family dynamics. I grew up without my father. Death is heavy in our community. It's a lot of systematic oppressions that our youth is up against. So I feel like meeting them where they at, understanding, understanding, being able to overstand the obstacles that not just the youth face, but our families in these communities face. I believe coming from a restorative justice background, I'm a practitioner in restorative justice. So I believe that has been a way that I've been able to connect by just being transparent and being bold in who I am, being brave with my expression. Like I say, from the way that I dress, I understand that, the way that our hair is, right? Just being brave and that free expression on just how our nature is. I feel like that is one of the deepest connections that we can offer this unique demographic here in Milwaukee. With connecting with the youth is like meeting them where they at. I think that's one of the underrated things is like being able to understand that, hey, some of the youth that, are impacted by the justice system and some that are not, the living conditions that they're up against. Some kids are not eating at night or eating in the morning, right? So being able to have an understanding, but as soon as they get in that school building, they sit down at this desk and turn to page 57, and a lot of these kids are dealing with emotional trauma, right? I think that's something that you can't see. Like we could talk about basketball and you can see that I'm a physical specimen, I'm great, right? You can see those things, but what you can't see is my mental, right? What has been affected from what I've experienced. The emotional state. I believe that's something that has never been touched on in this community. The spiritual state, like these kids are aware, right? They are very aware of what's going on. But by us being like, oh, you're just a child, or oh, this is an adult problem. No, these kids are dealing with adult situations. I feel like it's a radical, I guess it's an epidemic, right? It's not a pandemic, it's an epidemic on the connection with our youth. So these are radical systems that are in place. So it takes radical solutions. It takes radical imaginations to meet them exactly where they at and be a solution. We can talk about the problems, we can talk about the trauma which all of us are faced with, but what are the solutions, right? I believe that, having programs that are intact with restorative justice being the forefront to where these kids can feel like they can co-create a saying in their education, right? Let's listen to them and hear what their problems is. And then maybe we can pull the resources together and be able to assist and help them. Mental health is a crisis in our community. We have so many undiagnosed health issues in this community. And for this to be accessible, for these conversations to be, addressed and to start, right? Kids, y'all up there, be brave. Be brave in how y'all express yourself, but also learn, right? One thing that I like to say about life is like learning yourself is the biggest mystery in life. Start to learn yourself now. Start to learn yourself like today, all right?
Thank you, Mike. And you're right, that's so important, learning yourself. I mean, I went through an awakening, but it happened just a few years ago, and it dealt with something that happened when I was a kid. That kind of push back, but that stuff seeps out. So thank you for what you said. All right, DJ Ashana. You are well known in the city. You are very visible with the Milwaukee Bucks, but it goes beyond the Milwaukee Bucks for you. I mentioned you're a composer. You're author of a children's book. She has a clothing line. So there are a lot of things that are going on with you. But kids are attracted to you. Because what you do, what they see you doing. What advice or what do you think that we could do to make a difference in the city?
I appreciate that question. Thank you very much. I'm proud of, like you said, I can push buttons and play other people's music, but learning how to make music really changed the way I looked at music. So I appreciate you giving me that shout out. For what it's worth, actually, one of my songs is called Heart of a Fighter. And you want to talk about big dreams, Mike? Like, I have dreams that this is going to be the women's championship basketball anthem for the women's Final Four. So, like, thanks. Thank you. So if anybody's from like ESPN, like I've been trying. I work for the Women's Final Four. I'm the official DJ for the Women's Final Four. But so I am trying. I don't know. I'm trying. So to answer that though is like, what can we do? I try to be honestly somebody that I think I needed when I was a kid. I have Peter Pan tattooed on me, which speaks. I went through a lot of therapy. I talked about it. I promise. And I understand it, but it took a while, like you said. And so, full disclosure, like before I do these kinds of things, I actually call my mom when I get an opportunity to speak and actually have a voice, because I do. I play a lot of music, right? And to be honest, I'm live soundtracking things. That's how I look at it. So for me, I think a superpower is I can feel clearly. I can feel how you all are feeling. So when you're walking in, the music I was playing is the energy and like what I felt made sense here, and understanding that people trust me to do that. Again, same for a Bucks game day. It might not make sense to somebody, but I promise there's like a thought process to it. And so with all of that, to have a foundation for our young kids, for our youth, for people to grow and have these dreams, and not just a foundation, but then the support. You're talking about community, and you're talking about financial literacy. Things that I never was taught, that I feel like I'm still figuring out as an adult, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur. And so I think like what's happening among STRYV, and you talk about how special Milwaukee is, and it's so unique. I've lived overseas too, and I kept coming home for a reason. Your organization is one of the ones I'm most proud of, because again, it breaks all these stereotypes, and like this is the Milwaukee I want to be a part of. Like that's something that I think music does, is like there's only a few things in life that bring people together. It's music, food, and sports, and somehow I'm like intertwined with all of them. To give our youth, our young people, whatever that foundation, the support, to not only dream big, Mike, but then to have the support to be like, let's see, you can do it, and let's do it, let's implement this plan, because that's the same thing. It seems so silly that I've played basketball and I play music. Those are the blueprints that I use the blueprint, right? Like into life, like what I'm literally doing right now, because again, if I was sitting there are y'all in high school?
Yeah. So again,
I only knew basketball. I played sports when I was your age. Like that's, you talk about escape. Like I didn't fit in. I wasn't cool. The only thing I had going for me was like I could dribble a basketball. I was so lucky. Honestly, that's the best thing I had going for me. And so to have that opportunity then to understand, and again have people support that. I had the support, but to then understand, I think, to keep building the foundation. And I feel like I'm struggling, but to like understand, it's not only just you. It takes a village. It takes a community, and I feel like I'm a product of that. And then some. And to again have people see something in you. Dream big, 100%. I've worked with athletes too that want to play D1 or want to play professionally. And it's not trying to be a dream crusher at all. It's reality. Facts. Right? Like it's reality, because you and
I don't know if anyone else. We're less than 1% of the population as professional athletes. Like that is something that and that was my goal, Mike. Like, and I say that. And so now it's like, how can I use that? So how can I pass it on to them? How can I pass it on? How can I influence you all? And I'll talk about Giannis and Dame all day long. What kind of music, if that'll help you get inspired, because that's what the understanding, the platform that I've been given, and how I can share that. And then hopefully just like infuse the community, because the Bucks give me such a huge platform, and that's such a huge gift, and I don't take for granted.
So among other things I got from that, pay it forward. Yeah. Pay it forward. Yeah? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, wonderful panel. Told you. And again, our panelists.
We're going to go into the breakout, so I'll announce the breakouts.
You want to ask? Okay. Just to make sure you know, DJ Shauna, Bucks, Sound of the Bucks, Raul Ramundo, CEO, co-founder of the Resurrection Project, Carter Simmons, director of MISO, and Mike Taylor, first NBA player ever drafted from the D League, founder of TaylorMade. Thank you.